Hello, everybody. I'm Miguel Sanchez, and welcome to episode 35 of Movie History, DreamWorks Animation, and yes, I already did 35, so yes, welcome to episode 36 of Movie History, DreamWorks Animation. Today, we got another incredible matchup for you. We got another great movie for you, as we're about to close out the 20th Century Studios era of the studio. So guys, prepare yourselves. This is going to be one adventure you do not want to miss out. If you're ready, let's get started. For episode 36, it's Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. I'm so excited to share with you guys what we're going to do today. I already have it on YouTube, so prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to get bossy. If you want to go check out episode 35, again, our previous episode we did was The Boss Baby, which is also bossy, so go check it out right now. Link to the videos up there at the top right corner of the screen. Click the for card, watch anytime you want, whenever you want. Now we ain't for a delay, let us begin. So about the movie, Captain Underpants, the first ever movie, is a 2017 American computer animated superhero comedy film based on Dad Pilkey's children's novel series of the same name, produced by DreamWorks Animation, and the last DreamWorks film to be distributed by 20th Century Fox, now called 20th Century Studios. It was directed by David Soren from a screenplay by Nicholas Stoller, and stars the voices of Kevin Hart, Ed Helms, Thomas Middleditch, Jordan Peele, Chris Shaw, and Nick Kroll. The film marked the 20th anniversary of the Captain Underpants series. In the film, two fourth graders, George Beer and Harold Hutchins, yep, you know their names. I know you know their names. Accidentally hypnotized their mean principal, Mr. Krupp, into thinking he is the titular Captain Underpants, a superhero who fights crime while wearing only underwear and a cape, thinking he has superpowers. The movie loosely adopts the first, second, and fourth Captain Underpants books. So, yeah, that's all we gotta say. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, premiered on May 21st, 2017 at the Regency Village Theater in Los Angeles. It was premiered in the United States on June 2nd in 3D and 2D formats. The film received generally positive reviews, with critics praising the animation, humor, faithfulness, and references to its source material, and voice acting, particularly from Helms. It grossed $125 million worldwide against a budget of $38 million, the lowest budget for DreamWorks Animation feature film until Spirit Untamed was released in 2021 at a budget of $30 million. A Netflix television series, The Epic Tales of Captain Underpants, was released on July 13, 2018, having aired 4 seasons with 45 episodes and 3 specials so far. A spin-off film based on Dogman, another book series by Pilkey, was announced in 2020. When it comes out, I will cover that for you. Okay, let's take a look at that. Directed by David Soren, screenplay by Nicholas Stoller, based on Captain Underpants by Dave Pilkey, produced by Mirel Soria and Mark Swift, starring Kevin Hart, Ed Helms, Nick Kroll, Thomas Middleditch, Jordan Peele, and Kristen Shaw, edited by Matthew Landon, music by Theodore Shapiro, production company is DreamWorks Animation, distributed by 20th Century Studios. Release dates May 21st, 2017 at the Regency Village Theater, and on June 2nd, 2017 in the United States. Running time is 88 minutes, country is the United States, language is English, budget $38 million, and the box office $125.4 million. So that's everything you need to know. Let's get into the plot. In Piqua, Ohio, best friends George Beard and Harold Hutchins are fourth graders at joyless Jerome Horwitz Elementary School, where their excessive pranks put them at odds with their cruel principal, Mr. Krupp. The boys create comic books about a superhero named Captain Underpants and are caught on camera tampering with tattletale classmate Melvin Sneedley's invention, the Turbo Toilet 2000. Mr. Krupp prepares to put George and Harold in separate classes, hoping to end their friendship. George hypnotizes Mr. Krupp with a 3D hypno ring from a cereal box and commands him to become Captain Underpants, leading him to cause trouble around town as the underwear-clad do-gooder. Taking him to their treehouse, the boys discover that they can turn Captain Underpants back into Mr. Krupp by splashing water on him, and back into Captain Underpants by snapping their fingers. To keep Mr. Krupp separating them, they convince Captain Underpants that Mr. Krupp is his secret identity, and his change in personality attracts the affections of the school's shy lunch lady, Edith. Evil scientist Professor P.P. Diarrhea Stein Poopy Pants, Esquire, is hired as the school's new science teacher. though George and Harold are suspicious of his short-tempered and violent behavior. It is revealed that Poopy Pants, who invented a Nobel Prize-winning sizerator, capable of shrinking and enlarging things, is sick of never being taken seriously due to his name, and seeks to get rid of all laughter. With Captain Underpants as principal, the school becomes a livelier place, while the rainstorm turns Captain Underpants back into Mr. Crump, who officially places George and Harold in separate classes. Poopy Pants recruits Melvin to his plan and attacks the school with a giant version of Melvin's Turbo Toilet 2000, fueled by Edith's toxic leftovers, and using Melvin's brain to power a ray that turns the students into dull, humorless zombies. Captain Underpants tries to stop them, but having no superpowers, is thrown into the toxic waste. George and Harold are captured, but the power of a joke that made them friends in kindergarten overloads the Turbo Toilet 2000, returning the kids to normal and getting Melvin trapped in the giant toilet paper. Sorry. Missed the eye, but that's okay. The toxic leftovers gave Captain Underpants real superpowers, and with George and Harold's help, he defeats and shrinks Poopy Pants, who escapes on a bee. Unable to control Captain Underpants forever, George and Harold destroy the Hypno Ring to permanently change him back to Mr. Crump, but swear to remain friends forever. Realizing that Mr. Crump would be nicer if he had friends, the boys set him and Edith up on a date, making Mr. Crump have a change of heart and return the comics he confiscated from George and Harold. However, the toxic waste from the Turbo Toilet 2000 transforms the toilet at a scrap yard into an army of talking toilets, which attack the restaurant where Mr. Crump and Edith are dining. Unwittingly snapping his fingers, Mr. Crump is again transformed into Captain Underpants, to Edith's surprise and admiration, and flies away with George and Harold to face their next adventure. Okay, let's take a look at the voice cast. Ed Helms as Mr. Benjamin Benny Crump / Captain Underpants, the grumpy and mean principal of Gerald Horwitz Elementary School, who gets hypnotized into becoming the superhero created by George and Harold in order to stop him from putting them into separate classes. Kevin Hart as George Beard, a 4th grade student who is best friends with Harold, who make comic books. George writes the stories while Harold illustrates them. George is typically calmer in tougher situations. Thomas Middleditch as Harold Hutchins, a 4th grade student who is best friends with George. Harold illustrates the books while George writes the stories. Harold is cautious and worrisome in tough situations. Harold is friendly with a fondness and for dolphins. Okay. Nick Kroll as Professor Pee-wee Diarrhea Sign Poopy Pants Esquire, a ruthless and humorless German-accented mad scientist and the film's antagonist, who plots to take over the world to get rid of all laughter after years of being constantly disparaged for his name. Jordan Peele as Melvin Sneedley, George and Harold's nerdy enemy and a child prodigy who became Professor Poopy Pants' psychic due to his lack of sense of humor. Kristen Shaw as Edith, the shy school lunch lady and the love interest of Mr. Crump, who was created exclusively for this film, partially based on the book series character of the secretary Miss Edith Anthrope, who is separately featured in the film in a minor capacity. Sorry, we forgot there was a number 9 in here, but that's okay. Gray Griffin as Miss Anthrope, the school's secretary who was on hold at the phone through the whole film because George and Harold trick her that she'll win $1 billion so they can sneak inside Mr. Crump's office. Okay. Dee Redshirt as Miss Ripple, a 4th grade teacher, and George's new teacher when Mr. Crump separates the boys. Brian Posehn as Mr. Rickton, the guidance counselor, and Harold's new teacher when Mr. Crump separates the boys. I know. Mel Rodriguez as Mr. Fide, the science teacher who gets fired by Mr. Crump and is replaced by Professor Poopy Pants. David Soren as Tommy, who's also the director of the film. David Soren, the director of this film, as Tommy, a boy who is seen frequently throughout the movie, climbing into his own locker and shutting the locker door behind him. Susan Fitzger as Mrs. Dakin, George and Harold's kindergarten teacher who unintentionally made them laugh by mentioning Uranus. Lena Ann Zager as Mrs. Beard, George's mother. In the movie, only her legs are seen, unlike in the books, and unlike in the books and the Netflix original series. Tiffany Lauren Bennick as Sad Girl, James Ryan as Mime, who Captain Underpants accidentally hit in the face to free him after discovering that he is trapped in an invisible box-like prison. Leslie David Baker as Officer McPigley, a police officer who confronts Captain Underpants after he stops a bank robbery. Sugar Lynn Beard as Goody Two Shoes Girl, Leslie Nicole as a noble moderator, Chris Miller as a noble audience member, and Coco Soren as Balloon Girl. Man, that's a lot. Now let's get into the production. DreamWorks' interest in the film rights to the Captain Underpants series dates back to when the first installment was published in 1997, but creator Dav Pilkey did not want to sell them. Early pitches for an adaptation included video games, animated and live-action films, animated series, and a live-action series. To persuade him, DreamWorks gave Pilkey a tour around the studio with everyone wearing underpants over their trousers, which made him laugh. In October 2011, his representatives indicated Pilkey was ready, and DreamWorks Animation won the rights in an auction. In October 2013, Rob Letterman was announced as director and Nicholas Stoller as scriptwriter. The two had previously worked together on the film Gulliver's Travels. In January 2014, the cast was announced. Ed Helms joined as Mr. Krupp, a.k.a. Captain Underpants. Kevin Hart as George Beard, Thomas Middleditch as Harold Hutchins, Nick Kroll as the insidious villain Professor Poopy Pants, and Jordan Peele as George Harold's nerdy nemesis Melvin Sneedly. In 2014, DreamWorks Animation announced a January 2017 release date. Following DreamWorks Animation's reorganization in 2015, the studio announced that the film would be produced outside of the studio's pipeline at a significantly lower cost. It was instead animated at Milk Rose Image in Montreal, Canada, and at Technicolor Animation Productions in France, and therefore it looks identical to Pilkey's original drawing style, as well as differently than most of DWA films. So yeah. A month later, Letterman left the project but came back as an executive producer, and David Soren, the director of Turbo, enters talks to direct the film. During production, Pilkey got to work closely with Soren. He was relieved that Soren was directing since he was a fan of Turbo. In an interview with Los Angeles Times, Pilkey said, quote, "Once I met David, it was like a huge load falling off my back. I was like, I don't even have to think about this anymore. Just send me a couple of tickets to the premiere," end quote. Commenting back, Soren said, quote, "In a way, the controversy over the books ended up being liberating for the film. Normally on an animated movie, you're trying to appeal to every possible demographic, and often that results in your content being watered down a little bit. Obviously, we hope we get as wide of an audience as possible, but it's likely that if people have issues with the books, they may have issues with the movie too, and we didn't feel like we needed to waste a lot of time trying to rope them in. It allowed us to make the purest version of the movie," end quote. Soren also said that he took inspiration from John Hughes films. In an interview with Freak, he mentioned, "We actually looked at a lot of John Hughes movies for inspiration, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Weird Science. John Hughes had this great knack for making comedies like this. Both of those movies have great friendships at the center of them. He seemed to be able to tap into the voice of a generation. They're very funny, all of his movies, but they're also poignant, and they actually have meaningful things to say, which I think is why they have stood the test of time. So there's timelessness to his work that we were attempting to go for this." So yeah, that's all. Although it is a CG animated feature, the film includes scenes that are traditionally animated, flash animated, a short cut-out animation segment, and a sock puppet sequence created by Screen Novelties. Okay, so that's it. Let's get to the music. Starting with soundtrack, Weird Al Yankovic wrote and performed the theme song for the film, which is possibly because in the book, George and Harold play Weird Al music 6 hours full blast. Weird Al Yankovic music 6 hours full blast, which is featured in a lyric video. Andy Grammer wrote another original song for the film titled "A Friend Like You." The film also features music from Adam Lambert, Cold War Kids members Nathan Willett, and Lil Yachty. And an 11-track soundtrack was released digitally on June 2nd, 2017 by Virgin Records and Deep Well Records. Okay, let's get into the track listing. Now with number, title, artist, and length. Number 1, Captain Underpants theme song. Artist by Weird Al Yankovic. Runtime, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Number 2, A Friend Like You by Andy Grammer. Runtime, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Number 3, Saturday, cast version. By Kevin Hart and Thomas Middleditch. Runtime, 48 seconds. Number 4, Think, by Adam Lambert. Runtime, 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Number 5, 1812, Overture. Not Overture, Overture, I know. By the students of Jerome Horwitz Elementary School. Runtime, 1 minute, 8 seconds. Number 6, Hallelujah, by Kevin Hart, Thomas Middleditch, and Ed Helms. Runtime, 39 seconds. Number 7, Oh Yeah, by Lil Yachty. Runtime, 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Number 8, Saturday, by Nathan Willett. Runtime, 3 minutes and 29 seconds. The last 3 are by Theodore Shapiro. Number 9, Comic Book Opening. Runtime, 1 minute 54 seconds. Number 10, Saving the Day. Runtime, 7 minutes and 22 seconds. And number 11, The Prank for Good. Runtime, 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Again, the last 3 are by Theodore Shapiro. For a total length time of 32 minutes and 42 seconds. Man, that's a lot. And finally, to close up music for soundtrack, the film score was composed by Theodore Shapiro. A soundtrack for the score of the film was released on June 9th. It features 24 pieces of music and an exclusive digital booklet on iTunes. 3 of the scores are also available on the soundtrack, those being Comic Book Opening, Saving the Day, and The Prank for Good. Now let's go to release, starting with theatrical. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, was previously scheduled to be released on March 10, 2017, but in September 2015, the Boss Baby took over its date. This film was then moved to June 22, 2017, and was released by 20th Century Studios. Other territories such as Europe and Asia received the film between July and October 2017. It premiered on May 21, 2017 at the Regency Theater in Los Angeles. The film was chosen along with Sony Pictures Animation's The Emoji Movie to inaugurate the removal of Saudi Arabia's cinema ban through a double feature screening on January 13, 2018, organized by Cinema 70. They were the first 2 movies to be given an official public screening in the country in 35 years. That's a lot. Let's go to home media. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, was released on digital HD on August 29, 2017, and on Blu-ray, and on DVD, Blu-ray, and Ultra HD Blu-ray on September 12, 2017 by 20th Century Studios Home Entertainment. It has been released by Universal Pictures Home Entertainment in certain territories. From January 2018 to July 2019, the film was available on Netflix. The film is expected to return to the streaming platform after 4 years on July 10, 2023. Okay, cool. And now let's go to reception. Starting with box office. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, grossed $73.9 million in the United States and Canada, and $51.6 million in other territories, for a worldwide gross of $125.5 million, against a production budget of $38 million. In North America, the film was released alongside Wonder Woman and was projected to gross around $20 million from 3,434 theaters in its opening weekend. It made $8 million on its first day and $23.9 million in its opening weekend, finishing second at the box office, behind Wonder Woman, with $103.3 million. The film grossed $12.2 million in its second weekend, and $7.2 million in its third, and $4.3 million in its fourth. Now let's go to critical response. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 87% based on 136 reviews, and at an average rating of 7 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads, quote, "With a tidy plot, clean animation, and humor that fits its source material snugly, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, is entertainment that won't drive a wedge between family members." End quote. On Metacritic, the film has a score of 70 out of 100 based on 25 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film a B- on an A+F scale. So according to CinemaScore, on a scale of A+F, the film's rating is a B+. Yep, B+. So remember that. Let's continue on. Bestseller sites RogerEbert.com gave the film 3.5 out of 4 stars. Although sites pointed out that the film is hampered by, quote, a rushed, jumbled quality, end quote, and has, quote, tiresome, end quote, features that he says are common to DreamWorks, such as, quote, frenetic action scenes and the use of workhorse pop songs, end quote. He emphasized that they've approached this compendium of elemental slapstick and unabashed childishness with the reference that the Coen brothers brought to No Country for Old Men. He further added the inclusion. He further added that the inclusion of the flipbook interludes are the film's best parts. He especially in having the pages accidentally be torn, similar to the real books, stating that it's not often that a movie puts a spotlight on a mundane ritual in your own life that you never realized it was profound, and said, you probably forgot about this, but I want you to remember it and savor it because it meant something. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get a reception. Let's close out reception with accolades, or with award category, recipients, and result. Any awards. Best animated feature, Muriel Soria and Mark Swift. Music and animated feature production, Theodore Shapiro. Voice acting and animated feature production, Nick Kroll. All nominated. Sorry, friends. Detroit Film Critics Society, Best Animated Film. Detroit Film Critics Society and Empire Awards, Best Animated Film, Captain Underpants, the first ever movie, nominated. While in Golden Tomato Awards 2017, Best Animated Film, Captain Underpants, the first ever movie, it got 5th place. Hollywood Music and Media Awards, Best Song, Animated Film, Captain Underpants. The theme song for Weird Al Yankovic, nominated. And Best Score, Animated Film, by Theodore Shapiro, nominated. International Film Music Critics Association, Best Original Score, Animated Film, Theodore Shapiro, won! Yay, winner! Okay, IGN Awards, Best Animated Movie, nominated. Captain Underpants, the first ever movie, all nominated. Kids' Choice Awards, Favorite Animated Movie, Los Angeles Online Film Critics Society, Online Film Critics Society, Best Animated Film, all for Captain Underpants, the first ever movie, they're all nominated. St. Louis Film Critics Association, Best Animated Feature, David Soren, nominated. And the 16th Visual Effects Society Awards, Outstanding Visual Effects and Animated Feature, David Soren, Mark Swift, Muriel Soria, and David Dulac, nominated. So that's pretty much it. Moving on to television series. On December 12, 2017, Netflix and DreamWorks Animation Television announced that there will be an animated series to follow up the film, entitled The Epic Tales of Captain Underpants. It premiered on the streaming service on July 13, 2018, and is executive produced by Peter Hastings. And finally, to close out this episode, we have spin-off film. On December 9, 2020, DreamWorks Animation announced that a feature film adaptation of Dogman, another one of George Harrell's comic creations, is currently in the works by director Peter Hastings, the showrunner for The Epic Tales of Captain Underpants. Okay, guys, that is the end of Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Man, that's good. Final thoughts and rating for the film. I gotta say, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I just can't believe it. This is my favorite movie, I gotta say, coming out of DreamWorks, and it's all thanks to George and Harold becoming best friends with Captain Underpants. I love it so much, and I know it's definitely one for the ages. All of this, and with all that being said, at the end of the day, I'm going to give Captain Underpants, the first ever movie, a score of 8 out of 10. A great movie, to say the least, and I just can't wait to see how well it turns out to be one of my favorite movies of all time. So congratulations to that. Well done, Captain Underpants. You are the best superhero that DreamWorks has ever created. And with that, it's just my personal opinion. Feel free to agree or disagree with any thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. With us, guys, thanks for watching this episode of Movie History DreamWorks Animation. I hope you all enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for Logo History coming soon, where it's going to be about great television. On Logo Reviews, we'll be taking a look at PBS Kids and on Samurai Supremacy. First Punch takes on Kuma Milan. Plus, on Logo History Showdown, it'll be Hulu versus Disney Plus. It'll be out in a couple of days' time, so be on the lookout for that coming soon. And boy, we got another episode of Logo History 2 coming soon. Plus, we have a brand new season of Logo History Moshi starting next month. Yes, a new season of Logan Hisaboshi starts next month, so stay tuned for it. It'll be out right before you know it. So get ready for it. Season 7 of Logan Hisaboshi starts very soon, so stay tuned. Otherwise, for the rest of the control, please check out some local videos and channel. For now, thanks for watching. I'm Miguel Sanchez, you be yourself, and I'll see you next time on Movie History, DreamWorks Animation. And with that, the 20th Century Studios era is over! Finito! It's done! Now we can move on to the Universal Pictures era! Starting with episode 37, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. So I can't wait to see about that. Now that DreamWorks Animation is now under its new owner, Universal Studios, we can now get into the Universal Pictures era of the studio, starting with How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. So stay tuned for it. Episode 37 is coming your way very soon. So do not miss it. As you already know, I already did the first 2 How to Train Your Dragon movies on the channel, on the series before. I did How to Train Your Dragon on episode 20, and then How to Train Your Dragon 2 on episode 30. Now we're coming right back for episode 37. We're going to close out the trilogy with How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. So I hope to see you there. Until then, we'll catch up on past episodes. I got a playlist for you. I'll put a link to the playlist up there at the top right corner screen. Click the info card for plug. Watch anytime you want, whenever you want. With all that said, thanks for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share this video with your friends, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on notifications to miss this video. Subscribe to notifications to miss a new video from me as we're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching. We're getting close, so we'll be on the road to 3,100. I'll see you all next time for the next episode. I'm Miguel Sanchez signing off for Movie History, DreamWorks Animation. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe. I'll see you in another video. Laters!